Hey fellas, I'm back again. As of now, when this recording's being taken, it's the day after I released Mirror Angel's Paradise, so I'll be busy organising everything to do with that release. I'm still pretty worn out from everything to do with that, so today will probably be a slow and easy one from me. As for the next thing I'm going to do on the project, I'm having a lot of trouble visualising how I want the battles to look, or the game to look as a whole, so I think I need to put some proper thought into that. I have a decent idea how I want the fighting to play out. I might get some of that functionality down and not worry too much about how it looks right now. Battle transition or anything proper like that, I'm just gonna basically take what I'm looking at right here and just try and whack it in. I won't worry too much about the UI stuff, but I'll try and get the bars going. Alright, just going to show you guys a little bit of progress on this. So we take 8 steps, 6, 7, 8, 8, then boom, we jump into a very bright, very ugly battle screen, and then take another 8 steps. When you can see I got this little counter just counting through the seconds. As soon as it hits 5, it just kicks us out of the battle, because there's no battle substance yet. We can't win the fight to exit. And you can see all the dudes are lined up, they're facing left, they're ready to go. The main milestone here is just separating out the states of the game from being in game and being in battle. And you can see that jumping to and from, none of the positional information is lost. One subtle thing that needs to be done as well is the camera rules need to change. So once the battle starts, the current position is used as like the battle view, and then the camera doesn't anchor onto our first player, because these are all the same objects being used as our walking characters. So I'm going to do more work and then I'll get some of our functionality in. I've done a bunch of programming. I'll show you what I got. Just more progress on the battle, how the battles play out. Brace yourself. What you're about to see is extremely ugly but functional. Okay, it jumps into battle. You can see a lot of bars going, a lot of action happening. So what's happening very quickly is the yellow bars are like the action time bar. They're all charging up somewhat uniformly at this time. You can see they're all kind of given random values when the battle starts, and they just tick up in proportion to the time that the battle's been running for. You'll notice that when they fill up, the corresponding character, they kind of do this like short little headbutt forward, and that indicates that they're attacking something. And then the green bar that turns red as it goes down, that's like the damage they've sustained. And then when all the green's gone, you can see the corresponding enemy disappears because he is dead. And when both the enemies are dead, which is the likely outcome, or the unlikely outcome is that all of the players have died, they won't act anymore. Their bar will be frozen. You can still see where it froze at, but it won't charge up anymore, and they'll disappear. And then when all the enemies have disappeared, the battle just snaps back to where we were. Yeah, right now it goes without saying, this is extremely rough. Just a demonstration of functionality. You can see our second guy has been downed. Oh, and that's actually something I didn't expect, but makes sense, is that I guess he's hidden on the overworld. Oh, that means that if all of my guys die, oh man, we're gradually losing people here. This is perhaps a more dangerous prison than we first anticipated. Yeah, don't be too spooked by how terribly ugly the game looks right now. This is very standard in the development process, and it should be, if I commit to this project, it should be very satisfying to compare it to these current days. We'll see how far we get. Cool guys, I'll catch you in the next video. See yous later. Goodbye. Just kidding, I'm back. I thought I'd give a quick snapshot of where the code is at. I'm going to try and keep this very brief. It is late and I'm tired. The battle functionality is very much in progress. The structure and stuff might change. But here's the important bits. In terms of our actors being players and enemies, we've got a little bit of an inheritance tree going. At the top of the hierarchy, we have what I've called Pathfinder, which is like a fighter is any actor object that will participate in battle. So at the moment and for the foreseeable future, that will only be player, party members and enemies. And then children to parent fighter, well, as I just described, parent enemy and object player. And then the children of parent enemy will be all of the enemies. The things they share in common is combat attributes, which at the moment is only HP and HP max, which is obviously denotes the health points, and information about action time bar. Yeah, so just stats and action time bar stuff, and also some variables for handling that little nudge that they do at the moment. After enough valid steps have been made, which is a solid 8 at the moment for the player, we simply call begin new battle. This sets up the stage for the battle. Obviously it snapshots where the current camera is and sets that as the battle view. We reset the battle timer, all that. We loop through the player party and we position them where we want them relative to the battle view for the battle. You know, they're all lined up to the right, and then we spawn the enemies in. We have an enemy list that, you know, opposes the party list, which is our players. I just instantiate some of my test enemies, which they don't have any information, but they're children of parent enemy, which is child of parent fighter. Once our enemies and players are on the field, we run the initiation for all of them, which at the moment all it does is checks that the enemies or players aren't dead, which they will only be if a player died in a previous fight and they're coming into this fight dead. The enemies probably won't spawn dead, and it gives them a random value on their ATB. So where they're starting right now with their turn order is just completely random. Alright, the main loop of the battle is in our object main. Simply, if we're in a battle, it advances the battle timer, and at certain intervals it will loop through all of the party members and then the enemy members to increment their action time bar by whatever value, and if the action time bar value exceeds the maximum value, it indicates that it's their turn. And how turns are handled currently is they'll just engage in that little nudge that they do to indicate that they're attacking, and I deduct a small amount of health from a random actor on the other team. That's it for the important code stuff. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.